Welcome to the Video Game Podcast.
This week, Anthony shares his views and opinions on Platinum Games' long-awaited and highly scrutinized Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Whew. My most anticipated game of the last 3 years finally hit. This past Tuesday the 19th, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, developed by Platinum Games with the assistance of Kojima Productions. I've put about an hour into it. Got the limited edition set with the plasma lamp. Big ass box, huge box. Check out Usagi's YouTube video if you want to check it out. He does a nice unboxing. The set was very expensive, so that's why I spent some time on the lamp. It's 150 bones.
Yep.
When you see the lamp, it's pretty cool. Game itself, that's what counts. The game, outstanding so far. I'm trying to think where to begin. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get into the meat of this more on the next episode. So I'm going to give you some little things that you're not going to read online. I've played a lot of action games in my life. I love Devil May Cry. I love Bayonetta. I've gone through the Ninja Gaiden games. I like those games too. Point is, just like for people who are into first-person shooters, you play enough of a certain genre, you get to a point where it's like you've really got to dig deep to impress again, because everything gets done, and they take influences from each other, and it becomes more challenging for the developers to bring something new to the table. Now, when you look at Metal Gear Rising, you're going to see influences from other hack and slash games. You're going to see influences from Platinum's own internal Bayonetta. You're going to see all that kind of stuff. I guess it's the little things that make the difference at the end of the day. And the ninja run, okay, in the game, one of the aspects you can do is you hit the R1 button and you do a continuous run. You obviously control the direction and momentum of it. You have full control over it, but it's called Ninja Run. Now, Ninja Run obviously gets you from point A to point B faster than as if you were just walking or doing a standard run there. But I'll tell you something that's interesting where it's like, you really haven't seen everything yet. So like when you're fighting certain enemies or there's standard machine gun fire coming at you, like you'll look at videos online and you'll see Raiden running and he's swinging the sword and deflecting the bullets like out of a movie. And you're like, holy shit, how do you control that? Like there's no way you could block those bullets on the fly at that pace. It's impossible. You know what I mean? That's more of a show-off effect. So how they do it is when machine gun fire is coming, you do it yourself, you hit the R1 Ninja Run, and it's an automatic gimme for basic fire. And when you're running towards the machine gun fire, that's your counter, and he automatically does that nice animation. Also, another interesting aspect is in many games they implement QuickTime events. And while this game, I haven't seen QuickTime events, you do get the action sequences out of Bayonetta where you hit a couple action buttons together, or you continually press an action button for like continuous stabbing or things of that nature. I haven't seen like the Resident Evil type QTEs. One of the interesting things they do to kind of counter that for people that are like, there's too many QuickTimes. Once again, when you're doing the Ninja Run, as you're running towards certain aspects of the environment, his animation will automatically change and hop or jump at the appropriate time. So whereas you're not just hitting a certain direction, which kind of gives you a feeling of a bit of powerlessness, you're still controlling his direction and holding the action button, and he kind of assists you on the fly. Now, I'm digging really deep here with you, but for action aficionados or for people, we're getting into gameplay now. And this is one of the reasons why I'm always singing the praise of a company like Platinum, who has their roots in old school Capcom, because they're still coming up with ways, even if minor, that there are still revisions or tweaks that can be done on gameplay in action games that haven't been done yet. And while these things sound really simple, in the end they add up to something new, and I can guarantee you these aspects will get stolen. in terms of other companies implementing, like, okay, we can do this animation on the fly, we can eliminate a QTE here, it still gives the player a feeling of control. And they'll now, I mean, it's like anything in life. Now the cat's out of the bag, and these little things that add up, it'll get snagged.
Like the best ideas always do.
And here's the thing. Metal Gear Rising, is everything in that game, is it all original? Well, of course not. I mean, everything starts somewhere else, and it just keeps building. But that aspect was interesting. The opening sequences of the game, it starts off with a huge battle. It almost feels like the ending of a game. That's how this game starts. So I like that feeling of the magnitude. Like, hey, we're starting you with this. Imagine what lies ahead. The bosses they present to you feels like Metal Gear. Great characters. The game opens up with a cinematic. Feels like Metal Gear. Nothing seems to go on too long. It's my understanding now. I have the game. I've put some time into it. I have not completed it, but I did pick up the strategy guide as well. There's a hardcover strategy guide. Also comes with a little beautiful piece of artwork in there. I've read the gameplay section of the strat guide. I haven't looked ahead for spoilers, but I can tell you this is the game you will want to go through at least 2 or 3 times. And as you go through the game in succession, I believe the items you earn and weapons carry over. And by the time it's all said and done and you unlock the hardest difficulty mode and you have the experience of the game, that's how the game was supposed to be played, in terms of challenge, in terms of your skills, utilizing everything at your disposal, and as you know that world. So this is a game that's not meant to be played just once. It's been getting great reviews online. Game Trailers gave it a 9.2. A lot of other sites have been giving it. I've seen a lot of 9s. Famitsu in Japan gave it a 39 out of 40. For a project that was literally canceled at one time, switched over to a different developer, was mentioned 4 years ago and finally just hit. It had a lot of ups and downs, but it seems to have been worth it.
So what you're saying is you like the game.
It's a great piece of work. I've not finished it firsthand yet, but I love the character. I love the futuristic style. I love action. So
So does it take? This is Platinum Games. Does it take some of the pain away of not getting Bayonetta on PS3? Bayonetta 2. Are you happy with this game?
The reason I make that statement, I'm not turning my back on Bayonetta. I'm going to give you a double answer. It takes some of the pain away, yes. But the only reason I can say that with a straight face, and no disrespect to the other workers at Platinum at all, because I know Bayonetta 2 is going to be a great game, and I'm not just saying that. I know that game is going to be great. Hideki Kamiya is not involved with Bayonetta 2. So, I'm not saying like he's Jesus Christ, but, he is the mastermind. And him not being involved, and I am getting Metal Gear, which is not done by him. Atsushi Inaba and Yuji Kurikado of Kojima Productions joint venture, and all of their workers behind them were behind this. But it eases up the pain. When Bayonetta 2 comes out, I'm definitely going to have to take a look at it, and I'll have to find the one sucker in town that owns a Wii U and maybe play it over there.
I heard that Hideo Kojima said that it went infinitely better than expected. He was really happy with the way the game turned out and how the game has been received in the public. It looks like the public has been giving it. They were loving to crap on it when the game was first. I wouldn't say first. Maybe when it was first announced. But I remember a lot of flack last year.
Last year, I would say a lot of people are like, oh, that's not Metal Gear, and there's no, there's not this, there's not that. It's too much action. How's it Metal Gear? Well, if these people that made those comments learned how to fucking read, you would learn that this isn't supposed to be a traditional Metal Gear, and the focus was action. And not to spoil anything, there's a lot of hidden gems in this. So there's some hidden gems. There's reason to go back. There's even some VR missions you unlock. There's some Easter eggs which pay homage to classic Metal Gear. So don't kid yourself. There's a Metal Gear experience in there as well. It's just that on the internet, people love to hate it. They love to hate everything. A good chunk of the internet just is it's just fucking rotten. It's just it is so rotten to the core parts of the internet. It's just fucking the sewer. Those people that read that stuff, you know why that doesn't affect me? Sometimes there are things in life that warrant such harsh criticism.
Mhm.
People saying something about that, like Metal Gear, or even games that I don't play, or I make fun of stuff. But there's certain to make a video game is not easy. And when these people are saying this and that and pointing the finger, I guarantee you they haven't worked a fucking day in their life. They haven't worked a fucking hard day's work in their life. I guarantee you those people who pointing the finger and taking a shit on these games, you throw them in a real gaming environment at a meeting and to do project layout, they couldn't even mop the piss off the floors at a Platinum. They wouldn't last 10 seconds in that office. No way. If they had any idea the amount of hours and the sweat and lack of sleep that literally working holidays, working vacation, literally day and night to meet deadlines, and then to read that bullshit, they're a disgrace. That's a piece of someone's life. That's the people are gonna think I'm crazy. That project, whether it's Elder Scrolls, same thing in America. It's the Grand Theft Auto, all those games. That's a piece of someone's life. That's people not being home for Christmas. That's people living at the office.
So what you're saying is that you love Wii U and all of the games on it. That's what I'm extrapolating from it.
I may not be a fan of the Wii U, but I'll say this: Zelda, Mario, here's one that's going to hit home for you. The Rayman that got delayed till September, which was exclusive to Wii U and is now multi-platform for this September.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say there were some people that were kind of upset about that because that game was supposed to be launch. Then it got delayed to first quarter, and now it got bumped to September. I heard some workers were upset because they literally missed Christmas and time away from home as they were scrambling to try and meet a deadline, and then it got bumped 9 months. And I have to give credit, I learned that news from the nichiest podcast ever.
Yes.
You know who's on that show?
Shidoshi. Because he's on every podcast. Every one.
I'm serious, though. I legitimately learned that point, and I thought of you about Ray. They were talking about Rayman. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that's versatile, that knows east, west, up, down, in, and out. It's that guy. Good Lord.
Check out more of the Double Plus Good Games podcast on iTunes or Stitcher Radio.
Goodbye.